Going to discuss about solid waste management. In nowadays in community, there is a lot of importance to the solid waste management. So let's start our lecture. Coming to the introduction, waste. Generally, waste is nothing but a useless or unwanted thing. Depending upon their physical state, waste is classified as three types: liquid wastes, gaseous wastes, solid wastes. From these three types of wastes, today our lecture is based on the solid waste management. So what is solid waste? Solid waste, we can say simply it is a dry refuse, because it is the unwanted or useless solid materials generated from combined residential, industrial and commercial activities in a given area, right? So solid waste is a dry refuse. It includes garbage, ashes, rubbish, dust, etc. Nowadays, waste arising from the community, which is essentially solid, which is discarded as useless or unwanted. So, next, coming to the solid waste management. Solid waste management is the process of collection, transportation, and disposal of solid waste in a systematic, economic, and hygienic manner. So we can simply say that solid waste management is the process of the collecting, treating, and disposing of solid material that is discarded because it is no longer used. Okay, understanding everyone, it is the process of collection, transportation, and disposal of solid waste. Next, coming to the classification of this solid wastes are classified as majorly two stages, two types, based on their source of origin. One, based on physical nature. So, based on their sources of origin, they are residential wastes, commercial wastes, industrial waste, municipal waste, industrial wastes, and then finally agriculture wastes. So generally, if you see that the most of the solid waste is generated from the communities. Communities, nothing but the residential apartments, and then we can get from commercial. So in this source of origin, this residential waste and commercial waste will give the major solid waste. Okay. Next, industrial waste and municipal waste and agriculture wastes are have the more preference in solid waste management. Based on physical nature, garbage, ashes, combustible and non-combustible wastes, demolition and construction wastes, hazardous wastes. See, in these garbages, that includes all sorts of organic wastes obtained from kitchens, hotels, restaurants, etc. Ashes from household, like from chullas, we get the ashes. Here, demolition and construction waste. Nowadays, if you see that most of the buildings are aged, to renovation of the building or to construct a new building, definitely we have to collapse the present aged building, so that there will be a most generation of construction and demolition waste. Another one is the hazardous wastes. Hazardous wastes from industries we are getting here. Okay, these are also one of the important solid waste. Okay, so now the solid wastes are majorly based on the physical nature. They are garbage, ashes, combustible and non-combustible wastes, demolition and construction wastes, and hazardous wastes. Okay, let us discuss with each and every in first one is the garbage. Garbage, garbage, it includes all sorts of organic wastes obtained from kitchens, hotels, restaurants, and we can say garbage is nothing but the all waste food articles, vegetable peelings, fruit peelings, and etc. These wastes are organic in nature. Simply we can say garbage is nothing but the organic in nature, organic in nature. The wastes which are organic in nature are decomposed quickly. That means this garbage can decompose very quickly, producing foul odors and health hazards. And also, these garbage may result in breeding of flies, mosquitoes, insects, etc. Hence, garbage must be disposed of properly and quickly, because I told you garbage is in organic nature, so that it quickly decomposable. So we have to dispose it properly and quickly. When it is scientifically processed and composted, then we may obtain some valuable products like grease, fertilizer from the garbage. So we have to prefer the scientific process to, to compose the garbage. Generally, the density of density garbage generally 450 to 900 kg per cubic meter. There will be a garbage density of 450 to 900 kg per cubic meter. So generally, what are the major sources means? Houses, hotels, dairies, meat stalls, etc. Okay. You need to mainly understand that garbage is a organic waste obtained from kitchens, hotels, restaurants. So it is organic in nature, so that it can decompose very quickly. So we have to dispose properly and quickly. Another thing is that we have to prefer the scientific process, so that for composting, so that we can get the products like grease and fertilizer from the garbage. The density of the garbage will be 450 to 900 kilograms per cubic meter. Okay. Next, coming to the second one, combustible and non-combustible solid waste. This combustible and non-combustible solid waste we can get from mainly from households, offices, hotels, and markets, etc. These are the sources for combustible and non-combustible solid wastes. Generally, combustible solid waste is nothing but the paper, cardboard, plastics, textile, rubber, leather, wood, furniture, and garden trimmings. These are all the combustible solids. Non-combustible solid wastes are glass, crockery, tin, cans, ferrous and non-ferrous metals. So see here, there is a difference in between combustible solid waste and non-combustible solid waste. The sources are households, office and hotels and markets only. But in combustible solid wastes, paper, plastic is very important, and garden trimmings. Whereas in non-combustible solid waste, glass, tin cans, ferrous and non-ferrous metals are present. So while composting, we have to take more caution, and very quickly we have to compose the combustible Next, coming to the third one, ashes. Ashes, generally the incombustible ashes from household heaters. Generally, in the olden days, there will be a call chullas. By using sticks, we lit the chullas. The incombustible ashes from household heaters, like from chullas, called ashes. Although in nowadays the quantity of ashes is getting reduced in modern urban homes due to increasing use of cooking gas, kerosene oil, stoves, and lesser using of cooking coal or firewood, so that nowadays there will be less ashes, because I told you that generally we are using gas and kerosene oil and stove, but in olden days there will be using of cooking coal or firewood. From that, the majorly the ashes will be generated. So the ashes density will be 700 to 850 kg per cubic meter. Okay. Next, coming to the demolition and construction waste. I told you that nowadays, if you see that in major urban areas, the aging of the buildings is more. Due to the aging of building, again there will be new construction building or renovation of a building will takes place. To renovate the building or new construction, definitely we have to collapse the building. There is a demolition and construction waste more will be generated. So what are the demolition and construction waste means? Such as stones majorly, concrete, bricks, pieces of plumbing and heating and electrical parts. These are the major construction and demolition wastes. Again, we have to these waste has to be recycled so that we can use for the reuse. Okay. So demolition and construction waste are also one of the important solid waste. Okay. Next, coming to the industrial wastes. Industrial waste generally these major sources nothing but the thermal power plants we can say, and other types of industries. They are specific for a specific industry. Their characteristics are vary widely as inert, highly biodegradable, toxic, reactive, odorous, corrosive, hot, cold, colored, viscous, inflammable, and dusty. These are the various characteristics of industrial wastes. So, industrial wastes also has to compose very carefully in a scientific process. Okay, so that the nearby communities and air pollution will be reduced. Okay. Next, coming to the engineered systems for solid waste management. Nowadays, in each urban areas or villages also, this solid waste management is being involved very much. Okay. First, the first step will be generation of solid waste by community. Okay. Generally, the solid waste is generated by the community through community. It is waste. This waste generated by the community is collected into the dustbin. Okay. So community to collection, and then here collection will be made through dustbins, you need to understand here. And then this collection is went to the on-site handling, storage and processing. Here on-site handling means there will be a dry waste and wet waste. These two things are separated and stored separately. Okay, that is one the on-site handling, storage and processing, and then transportation. Generally, the transportation through hauling system. Okay, through hauling system. Next, processing. Next stage will be the processing, and we can say recovery also. Processing and recovery. Here in this stage, it involves segregation of waste. Okay. Next, last one is the disposal. Okay. First, in the solid waste management, there is the following steps. First one is the generation of solid waste by community. Generally, the uh, rate of generation is 0.4 to zero point 0.8 kg waste per person per day. Okay, so this much of waste is generated 0.4 to 0.8 kgs of waste is generated per person per day. Okay, next second one is that waste collection. The waste collection through the dustbins. Again, this dustbins to the on-site handling, storage and processing, and then transportation through the hauling system, and then processing and recovery. Here it involves segregation of waste. I told you the dry waste and wet waste, and finally disposal. These are the following steps that has been used in solid waste management. Next, coming to the methods of treatment of the solid waste management. Generally, nowadays there are different types of wastes, different treatment methods are applied. These treatment process has been listed below. First one is the open dumps, landfills, anaerobic digestion, composting, vermicomposting, encapsulation, incineration. In this, majorly incineration at thermal pyrolysis, this is very important, and composting and vermicomposting and open dumps and landfills. These are the different methods for the treatment of the solid waste. One is the open dumps, landfills, anaerobic digestion, composting, vermicomposting, encapsulation, incineration. Let us discuss each and every method of the treatment of solid waste. Okay, first, open dumps. Generally, open dumping refers to the uncovered areas that are used to dump solid waste of all kinds. Generally, solid waste is again that may be a rubbish, that may be garbage, that may be combustible, or that may be incombustible. These all types that are dumped, all kinds. Another one is that the waste is untreated and not segregated. Because I told you that open dumping means there is a vacant land. In the vacant land, the all kinds of waste like dry waste and wet waste, that may be garbage, that may be rubbish, that may be combustible, that may be non-combustible, that may be demolition and construction waste or industrial waste. These all types of the waste are combinedly poured into a vacant land, so that again this waste is untreated. Okay, there is no segregation will be takes place in open dumping site. Here you can see that all type of the waste here present here. Okay, here no segregation will be takes place. Okay, it is a breed ground for files, rats, and other in the surroundings. Open dumping, definitely there will be files, rats, and other insects that will spread the diseases. The rainwater runoff from these dumps contaminates nearby land and water, thereby spreading diseases. In some countries, open dumps are being phased out. Okay, so due to it leads to, one is the land and nearby water also contaminated. Another thing is that it leads to the spreading of diseases, so that in some countries it has been phased out. Okay, so open dumping is also one of the important methods of treatment. The second one is the landfill. Generally, a landfill may also refers to the ground that has been filled with soil and rocks instead of waste materials, so that it can be used for a specific purpose such as building houses. Generally, this sanitary landfilling is used to dispose biodegradable solid waste. This landfill is majorly used for biodegradable solid waste. Refuse is carried and dumped into the low-lying area, and it is covered by good earth layer, so that refuse is not directly exposed. Okay, the waste is stabilized by aerobic as well as anaerobic bacterial processes. So here, when waste is stabilized by using aerobic process, that means there is a presence of free dissolved oxygen. And when the waste is stabilized by anaerobic process, means there is the absence of free dissolved oxygen. The refuse is managed landfills may usually get stabilized within a period of 2 to 4 months. About 90%, about 90% of Indian refuse is disposed in this manner only. Okay. Landfill is also known as land dump or tip. It is a site disposal of waste material by burial. Okay. Older, poorly designed or poorly managed landfills can create a number of adverse environmental impacts such as windblown litter, attraction of vermin, and generation of liquid leachate. Okay. So I told you that generally by using the sanitary landfilling, that will lead to the some environmental problems. Here, generation of liquid leachate. What is leachate means? During rainy season, when excess water seeping through the area may come out of the dump yard as a colored liquid called leachate. Leachate is a highly poisonous and polluted liquid. Understanding here, this leachate is a highly poisonous and polluted liquid. So while doing the sanitary landfilling, these problem will be occur. Okay, due to during majorly in the rainy season it will occur. Okay, and also gas production also. In most cases, over 90% of the gas volume produced from the decomposition of solid waste consists of methane, carbon dioxide. In large sized landfills, the gas evolved due to decomposition of refuse may be collected through installing gas recovery wells. Okay, so landfilling is nothing but the burying a waste into the land. Okay, after that it will lead to some consequences like liquid leachate and environmental problems. It's about the landfilling. See here, sanitary landfills are designed to greatly reduce eliminate risks that waste disposals may pose the public health and environmental quality. Here in this figure, it shows that modern landfilling or sanitary landfill, a leachate collection system. I told you that the highly poisonous liquid will be generated in rainy season. That is the leachate collection system. Here leachate treatment system. Again landfill cleaner. This is the well to monitor groundwater aquifer. This is the trash. Here methane gas recovery system and clay cap. Okay, so it can show that modern landfilling. In India, 90% of the refuse is disposed in this manner only. So that again for leachate collection system will be there, leachate treatment system, and another thing is that methane gas recovery system also there in the modern landfilling system. Okay. Next, coming to the composting. Composting is the biological decomposition of organic waste under controlled aerobic conditions. See, landfilling is a aerobic or anaerobic biological decomposition, but composting is only a aerobic condition. So aerobic means here there is a presence of free dissolved oxygen. Okay, industries as paper, agricultural, and food processing give out wastage which are almost 100% organic. That means is a composting here majorly the organic will be there because industries and as paper, agriculture, and food processing use of waste 100% organic. This organic matter can be composted to yield good manure. Okay, so this is also important. Compost is the end product obtained after subjecting the organic fraction of solid waste to aerobic or anaerobic decomposition to yield humus like solid carbon dioxide, water vapor, and energy. Okay, generally human waste along with solid waste is mixed and converted into compost which is used as manure. This decomposition can be affected either under aerobic condition. The final end product is called a humus used as a fertilizer. So composting in India, the composting is practiced in rural areas on the mixture of night soil and refuse. There are two methods which are generally adopted here. One is the indoor method, another one is the there are two methods. One is the indoor method, another one is the Bangalore method. Indoor method it uses manual turning of piled up mass. That means indoor method uses refuse plus night soil. So I told you that night soil is nothing but the human waste plus refuse uses indoor method uses mass as refuse plus refuse night soil plus refuse under aerobic conditions under aerobic conditions. Another one is the Bangalore method. Bangalore method is aerobic in nature, whereas indoor method is aerobic and Bangalore method is anaerobic in nature and does not involve any turning or handling the mass. This method is widely adopted by the municipal authorities throughout the country. Okay, so these the Bangalore method is adapted in municipalities, most of the municipalities in the country. The refuse and night soil in this method are therefore piled up in layers underground earthen trench. This mass is covered at top by layer of earth about 15 centimeter deep and is finally left over for a decomposition. After 4 to 5 months, after 4 to 5 months, the refuse gets fully stabilized and changes into a brown color, brown color, odorless, innocuous powdery mass called humus. Finally, we get humus. This is very important. So, composting is the biological decomposition of organic waste under controlled aerobic condition. Here, two methods are there. One is the indoor method and Bangalore method. Indoor method and Bangalore method both uses night soil plus refuse as a as a mass. Indoor method is aerobic method. Bangalore method is anaerobic method. use the Bangalore method only. Okay. Generally, here the refuse plus night soil is piled up in layers underground earthen trench. This mass is covered by top layer of about 15 centimeter deep and finally left over for decomposition. About 4 to 5 months, the refuse gets fully stabilized and changes into the brown color, odorless, powdery mass called as a humus. So that is all about the composting. You can see the different stages of composting. First one is the segregation of solid waste. I told you that segregation of solid waste means here dry waste will be there and wet waste will be there. And dry waste, particularly the paper, bags, and then glasses, these will be separated. And processing the combustible matter, preparation of compost, digestion, curing, and then screening. Here you can see that when aerobic process in the presence of free dissolved oxygen in organic matter plus oxygen that gives as end products as CO2, carbon dioxide and water plus methane plus energy plus other end products, it gives in the aerobic bacteria. When organic matter in the absence of free dissolved oxygen, the anaerobic bacteria, it gives a methane, carbon dioxide, water and ammonia and hydrogen sulfide and energy plus other end products. Here two types, one is aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria in the presence of free dissolved oxygen and anaerobic bacteria in the absence of free dissolved oxygen. Okay. So mechanism of composting you can see here. Composting is a very complex process involving the participation of several microorganisms like bacteria, anti-actinomycetes and fungi. Composting may be divided into three stages with reference to changes. One is the mesophilic stage, thermophilic stage, and cooling stage. Okay. Next, coming to the other one, anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic digestion is a regulated version of the natural events of landfill. It results in the controlled release of methane rich biogas, which offers the potential for a very real form of energy from the waste. It is carried out in large fermented tanks. In these tanks, solid waste is taken in the absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic, and the anaerobic bacteria convert the large organic molecule into the methane and carbon dioxide. Anaerobic digestion is a natural event of landfill under uncontrolled release of methane and rich biogas. Generally, this composting anaerobic digestion occurs at one of three distinct temperature ranges. One is xylophilic less than 20 degrees centigrade, mesophilic 20 to 45 degrees centigrade, and thermophilic is greater than 45 degrees centigrade. This anaerobic digestion and composting will be takes place. Next, coming to the vermicomposting. Vermicomposting is a simple biotechnological process of composting in which certain species of earthworms are used to enhance the process of waste conversion and produce a better end product. So here, majorly the earthworms utilized here. Okay, vermicomposting is a simple biotechnological process of composting in which certain species of earthworms are used to enhance the process of waste conversion and product produce a better end product. See here, utilizing microorganisms like earthworms that are active at 10 to 32 centigrade, the process is faster than composting because the material process to the earthworm is significant but not yet fully understand. Transportation daily takes place. So vermicomposting is the composting will be used by the earthworms, the biotechnological process. See here you can see the vermicomposting process in the detailed steps. Here you can see that the mixing and earthworms and by the finally we'll get the end products as a methane and biogas. Here you can see the releasing of earthworms. Again in this stage you can finally in this stage. This is the final end products. Next one is the incineration. Incineration is the most common thermal treatment process. It is burning of the waste at a temperature of 1000 degrees centigrade plus or minus 100 degrees centigrade in the presence of oxygen to eliminate all odors and ensure good combustion. Incineration is an aerobic process. You can say simply because in the presence of oxygen only we will be getting the burning of the waste will be done. After incineration, the wastes are converted into the carbon dioxide, CO2 plus water vapor, then the H2O plus ash. Okay, it converts hazardous organic substances into less hazardous components. So incineration is also one of the important method in India. And pyrolysis, generally there is a term called pyrolysis. Pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is nothing but burning in the absence of air. Here, incineration done in the presence of air. That means in the presence of oxygen done. Here, pyrolysis is in the absence of air. Generally, rubber and plastic waste disposed by this method. Upon heating in an oxygen-free atmosphere, most of the organic substances can be split through a combination of thermal cracking and condensation reactions into gaseous, liquid, and solid fraction. This process is called a pyrolysis or thermal pyrolysis. When the organic solid waste is pyrolyzed, the three products will be produced at different stages, at different temperatures: carbon dioxide, methane, and hydrogen. These three different products will be done. Okay. Next, coming to the next, management of solid waste. See, the fundamental objective of waste processing is to reduce the amount of wastes through recycling and disposal of waste into a way not impair environmental conservation. There are four R's that should be followed for waste management. One is the refuse, reuse, recycle, and then reduce. These are the four R's that represents the solid waste management: refuse, reuse, recycle, and then reduce. The management of the solid waste is done according to this nature: management of medical solid waste, management of non-degradable solid waste, management of hazardous waste, management of non-hazardous and biodegradable solid waste, management of electronic waste, that's the e-waste. Nowadays, e-waste is being more increasing. E-waste from the electronics gadgets like cell phones, majorly that are olden and aged. So this management of medical waste, hospital waste is generated during the diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or animals in research activities in these fields. These medical solid waste is generated. Okay, here the treatment options are incineration, another one is the sanitary landfill. Okay, next, management of non-degradable solid waste. So examples of non-degradable solid waste are ferrous, non-ferrous materials like iron, steel, and aluminum, glass, plastics, textiles. What are the treatment options means? Here, sanitary landfill, recycling, and incineration we can use for non-degradable solid waste. Incineration Next, coming to the management of hazardous waste. In hazardous waste, physical separation, gravity separation, dissolved air flotation, salt extraction, sorption and activated carbon. What are the treatment methods mean? Thermal treatment, incineration, biological treatment are the options for the management of hazardous waste. Coming to the management of non-hazardous and biodegradable solid waste. For this, open dumping, landfill, anaerobic digestion, composting, and vermicomposting are the major options for decomposing. Open dump is not preferred generally. Maybe anaerobic digestion or composting will be most best options for the non-hazardous and biodegradable solid waste. And finally, the e-waste. Electronic waste is a large due to the toxicity and carcinogenicity of some of the substances. A typical computer may contain more than 6% lead by weight, capacitors, transformers, PVC insulated wires, or polychlorinated biphenyls. So e-waste is most nowadays generating. So these also decomposed. Okay. Then what are the treatment methods for the e-waste means? One is the incineration, sanitary landfill, and encapsulation. These are the treatment options for the e-waste: incineration, sanitary landfill, and encapsulation. Okay, so that is all about the solid waste management. So in this lecture, majorly we discussed about what is a waste. I told you that solid waste is a dry refuse, and then we discussed about the garbage. Garbage is the organic waste obtained from kitchens and hotels and restaurants. And then we discussed about the rubbish. Rubbish means it may be combustible or non-combustible. Combustible like paper, plastic, textile, and incombustible means glass or metal or masonry. And then ashes. Ashes means the incombustible ashes from the household heaters we discussed, and then we discussed about the classification of solid waste like municipal solid waste, like residential, commercial, industrial, and hazardous. And we discussed on what are the different steps involved in the solid waste management, like generation of solid waste by community, collection, transportation, processing, and then final disposal. And then we discussed about the different treatment methods for the solid waste, like sanitary landfilling, incineration, composting, and anaerobic digestion. These methods we have discussed, and the different types of the wastes we discussed here. Okay, thank you everyone.